It's here! It's finally here! The Samsung Galaxy S9. The almost perfect smartphone. So my opinions are going to be kind of good on this no matter what, because I went from using a really old Samsung Galaxy S4 to a brand spanking new amazing Galaxy S9. So this is going to be kind of more of a tech review, so if you don't like tech or not interested in it or anything, skip this video, come back later for a new video. It's time to get full on nerd. So the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the Galaxy S9 are almost identical. Both have a 5.8-inch infinity display screen. I do love the S9 though, because it can do just a little bit more than the S8 could. On the S9, it actually has stereo speakers. There's a speaker up at the top of the phone where the front camera is. There's also, of course, the traditional speaker at the bottom of the phone, where the headphone jack is and the USB Type-C charging port is. 4 words. Headphone jack. Thank you. Samsung is one of the only companies now that produces cell phones with headphone jacks. Now the phone does have many different factors to it. It has a fingerprint reader, has an iris scanner, and has facial ID. Now the cell phone has a 3000 milliamp powered battery that is charged by USB Type-C. Much different from my old S4 charger. Both the front camera and the back camera are out of this world, are extraordinary. Now both the front camera and the back camera both shoot at 4K. The back camera shoots at 4K at 60 frames per second, and the back camera also shoots super slow motion. Now it's said to be 4 times slower than iPhones. And I don't mean productivity wise, I do mean with the camera. That the traditional iPhone slow motion, this takes slower video. And I'm not gonna lie, I cannot stand when people say only iPhones have slow motion, because I had a slow motion feature on my camera on the S4. They had it on the S3, they had it on the S2, they had it on the S5. They have it on the S6. I can't stand when they do that, when people say, oh yeah, just use an iPhone because iPhones have slow motion. That's to everyone who says it. I'm not talking to you guys. Unless you're part of the Green Army, then I love you. Like and subscribe. The way it works is, as you're recording on the screen, there's a little tiny pixel box where as soon as something happens, as soon as something enters that box, it then begins the slow motion. Now blah blah blah, now that all that stuff's in the way, it's time to get just a little bit nerdy. Now if I wasn't nerdy enough, the two phones, the S9 and the S9 Plus, are beastly machines. Using a Snapdragon 845, 4 to 6 gigabytes of RAM to 3500 milliamps of battery power, and a 12 megapixel camera. And speaking of the camera, this is one of the first phones to have a fixable aperture. That means aperture is basically when you could fix a setting on the lens of the camera to where more light can get into the photo. Now the phone's camera can go for an aperture of f1.5 all the way to f2.4. Stay tuned for next episode when I do an official 4K video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, StoryFire, links in the comments box below. Tell me what you think of this video. And I love you guys to death. Don't forget to stay green.